You don't owe everybody time. Not everybody should have access to you. Not everybody should be allowed to be involved in every phase of your life. You got to be able to set some boundaries with some folks because some folks will push and push and push. Some folks will want more and more and more. Some folks will leech off of you. They will leech off of you if you don't put in place some type of boundary. And this is something I'm even working on in my own life. Not everybody needs access. Not everybody should be able to reach you at every hour of the day. When do you take time for yourself if you're so busy answering all the phone calls, all the text messages, all the emails, even folks knocking on your door, ringing your doorbell, oh, I need help with this, oh, I need help with that. But who's helping you? When it comes time for you to need help, it's only you and the Lord. So it's not selfish to set up some boundaries because you have a big heart. You want to help, and you should help, and you should be a blessing. Let me be clear about that. You should be a blessing. But within reason, there has to be some parameters here. And you may say, well, all right, Jules, I struggle with that. I struggle with that. I may not even be sure why I can't set these boundaries. And it could be because, and I can only speak on this because I know that I do these things in my own life. You may be a people pleaser. If you can't cut it off, if you just give and give and give and let people interrupt your rest, interrupt your naps, interrupt things that you need to do for yourself all the time. And understand, I'm not even talking about the folks within your own household. All right, because if you got kids, I got a teenager and two smaller kids. They're gonna interrupt some things. If you watch any of my videos, they interrupt my videos. They're going to interrupt some things. They need to rely on you. They're younger. I'm talking about the folks outside of your immediate household who you continue to leech off of you, and they're time leeches. They attach themselves to you and they interrupt your schedule, they interrupt your rest. And you can't shut that bad boy off. It's because you're a people pleaser. Somewhere down the line, you have decided that your self-worth comes from helping as many people as you can in spite of yourself, in spite of your health, in spite of your mental state, in spite of where your heart may be. And for those in ministry, yes, you need a heart for ministry. Yes, you need a heart for the people. Yes, you should help. But not 24/7. Not all the time. Because when do you rest? Listen, even Jesus went away to pray. After he finished performing so many miracles, the people said, oh, we want you to come with us and go here and go there and go there. And he said, no. And he drew away from the crowd and he had to go and pray. He had to go and be to himself. You got to take some time to go and be with yourself. to recharge. You'll find when you can get away, even if it's just being in your bed for the weekend, putting on your worship music, you watching something good on TV for a little bit, close your bedroom door, and you just say, you know what? For the next 2 days, I'm not taking any calls. Friday, Saturday, I'm not taking any calls. I'm not taking any text messages. Unless it's really pressing, unless it's someone directly in my house who really needs something. All these other folks, let them miss me. Because you got to be able to recharge. Because the people will pull and pull and pull, and they'll draw, and they drew from Jesus. But he knew he had to get back with God and go and pray and replenish his spirit. So in the same fashion, you got to replenish you. You got to replenish your spirit. You got to take some time and go and grab the word and just read it and allow the word to speak to you. Allow the word to refill you. Right? We're supposed to renew our minds daily. If you're not renewing your mind, and therefore renewing your spirit, how can you go and help and renew others? How can you go and be a voice of reason, a voice of positivity, a godly voice, a voice of godly direction for anyone else if you don't refill your cup? You got to refill it. You got to refill your cup. And the issue is your self-worth being tied to the help, because you don't feel right unless you're bending backwards and breaking your back for somebody else. You can't help people in spite of yourself. You can't help people if it's hurting you. If it's hurting you, that's not help. It's not. You're harming yourself helping somebody else. So now they feel good and they're running, oh, I would thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the money. I appreciate the loan. I'll pay you back. They never do. I'll pay you back. You gotta be ready to give, knowing that it may not come back from that person. God will always repay. God will always make sure that you have what you need when you need it. But you can't give the people thinking that they're going to give it back to you, because in most cases they don't. In most cases, a loan is not a loan. A loan is charity. So stop thinking you're giving loans to people when you're actually giving to charity. And if you don't have it to give to charity, if you can't give and it not hurt your pockets, then maybe you're not in a season to be able to give to other people. Now, your tithes are your tithes, right? Your tithes are your tithes. But I'm talking about outside of the storehouse for the Lord and giving too much to too many different people, and now you're broken, and busted and disgusted. There's just some things to think about. And so before I close today, that connection to who am I if I don't help? You got to release some of that and remember your identity in the Lord. Remember the people who you are called to. Remember the people who you are supposed to be helping. If you can remember what God has you to do, then it'll be easier to say no to certain things. Even when you give, you got to be cautious and think about, am I giving onto good ground? Somebody who is close to my family had a death in their family, and I immediately wanted to go and give some money. Immediately. And here's what I realized. I had already given to this person in a way, because they helped me out and they helped my son out. I'd already given them some money. Now, it wasn't directly towards funeral costs or anything like that, but I'd already given them some money. But then I also had to take into account is this person good ground to sow seed onto, right? Will they actually take the money and do something positive with it, or are they going to blow it, or what, will they mismanage the money? So you got to think, who am I called to help? What am I called to do? Is this God asking me to help, or is this self asking me to help? Because when self is asking you to help, that's to boost your own ego. And it's not about God anymore. It's not even about the person. It's about you feeling better about yourself. So you got to remember who you're called to, and if you're even sowing on good ground. Because if it's not good ground, then you're not even doing the right thing with what God has blessed you with. The money and the funds He's blessed with, the seeds He's giving you to go and go and plant. If you go and plant them in unfertile soil, what's going to happen? There will be no harvest. There will be no crops. There will be no return, no spiritual return. And so those are just some things that you should be aware of and be cautious of. Think about it.